First, I'm going to take a glue stick and I'm going to use that to flatten down my brows, and I'm just using my fingers to help push the glue through the hairs. Next, I'm going to take the Skin Illustrator FX palette and I'm going to use the color Burnt Orange, and I'm going to activate the paint with 99.9% alcohol, and I'm going to use a textured latex sponge to apply the orange color over my brows, and this is just going to help to block out the darkness of my eyebrows. Next, I'm going to take the Skin Illustrator Necro Mania liquid paint in the color Bone, and I'm just going to use that again on that textured latex sponge, and I'm going to cover up the orange so it matches my skin tone. Once that's all done, I'm going to take this prosthetics piece that I have molded and poured out and added fake teeth to. Now this is a type of monster mask and I've also pre-colored it. You can either make your own as well, or you can just purchase one off the internet. eBay sells a ton of pre-made and colored prosthetics. The adhesive I'm going to use is Pros-aide No Tack, and because it's no tack, you don't have to wait for the glue to become sticky before you can start applying the prosthetic. So I'm just going to take a cotton bud, I'm going to dip it into the Pros-aide, and I'm going to start to put it all around my nose and mouth area where I want the prosthetic to adhere to, and I'm also going to put it inside the prosthetic itself. And you're going to want to make sure as well that your prosthetic has somewhere for you to breathe out of, because the nose area of my prosthetic is completely covered. I have this mouth slit here. So if you buy a prosthetic and it doesn't already have these breathable components, make sure you just cut out a little hole so you are able to breathe through the prosthetic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the prosthetic on my face, and I'm going to start to use my fingers to push down the edges and also pull back the thin flashing on the sides. I'm going to start to glue down the edges of the flashing and blend it into my skin, just with a little bit of extra Pros-aide on that Q-tip. And once that's all dry and secure, I'm just gonna take a latex sponge and the lightest foundation that I own, and I'm just going to cover my entire face and the edges of the prosthetic, just so it all blends in seamlessly. You can use whatever foundation is going to match your prosthetic, but because mine is quite white, I chose my lightest foundation. Next, I'm going to go back into that Skin Illustrator palette, and I'm going to use the color Aged Blood on a stippling sponge, and I'm just going to start to stipple around the edges of my prosthetic, adding small little blood-like splatters. Next, I'm going to take these primal contact lenses and I'm going to put them in my eyes. If you want to see the tutorial on how to put in these contact lenses, just click the card above. Once that's done, I'm going to take a gray eyeshadow and a fluffy brush, and I'm going to start to contour around my eyes. So I'm just trying to make the eyes look as deep and sunken as possible, whilst blending up into the temples as well. Now, I'm not being too neat or fussy with where the eyeshadow goes. I'm just really trying to get the coloring in. And then I'm also just going to contour the tops of my forehead and slightly on the cheekbone. And once that's done, I'm going to take the Ben Nye stage blood, and using a brush, I'm just going to drip the blood in between the teeth and onto my chin. And I'm also going to drip the blood down onto my neck as well. And once that's all done, your monster is complete.